Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi here. We're looking at question number 2. Anita is eating popcorn at the movies. She eats 24 kernels in 10 minutes and 72 kernels in 30 minutes. Which two other ratios can represent the rate at which she's eating popcorn? All right, so it's probably a good idea to just make sure that these two blue ratios that are given are in fact equivalent. And if we look and say to ourselves, is there a common factor here that we can multiply with both? Both of these can be multiplied by 3 to get this ratio. So these two ratios are equivalent. Now, the next thing I would recommend doing, because the numbers are not exactly user-friendly, I think I would go ahead and simplify this ratio right here. If we simplify, let's divide by 2. This divided by 2 is 12, and this divided by 2 is 5. So we have a 12 to 5 ratio. Now, isn't that one of the choices? How convenient. This is a 12 to 5 ratio also. So we're going to pick that one, but they want us to pick 2. And the problem that a lot of people have is they're not really sure how to do with the big numbers. There are two approaches that you can take here. One approach, remember we have this 12 to 5 ratio, is we can take that ratio and check the cross products for each pair of numbers they give you. So what I did is I just rewrote all of these answer choices, but in a fraction type format. So let's use a calculator to kind of speed things up. And if we look at the cross products here, so if we do 96 times 5, so again, if you're not sure what I mean here, we're going to find the cross products. So this ratio, we're going to compare the blue cross product with the purple cross product and see if the numbers are the same. If the numbers are the same, it means that the ratios are equal. So let's look at the blue cross product. That's 96 times 5. And we get this number, 480. So let me just write that. I'll just put it right here, 480. Now let's examine the purple cross product. 60 times 12. And we get this number. Now, because the two numbers don't match, 720 is not the same thing as 480, then we're not going to pick choice B. We're going to eliminate that choice. So we can use that approach for each of the remaining ratios. You can just check the cross products. Do 182 times 5, compare it to 80 times 12. Do 288 times 5, compare it to 80 times 12. Do 460 times 5 and compare it to 200 times 12. Now there is another way you can do this. So let's examine the idea of just realizing that we can convert this to a unit rate. Now if we convert this red value to a unit rate, we have to find how many times does 5 go into 12. So if I do, let's move the calculator so we can see it. If I take this number, 12, and divide that by 5, I get this number, right? 12 divided by 5 gives me 2.4. So it's 2.4 per 1. 2.4 kernels per 1 minute. So 2.4 kernels per 1 minute. Now we can also go through these and just take each choice. So let's move the cross product things out of the way so we don't get confused. We can also just take each one, find what 96 divided by 60 is, and see if we also get 2.4 kernels per 1 minute. So let's do that. If we do 96 and divide that by 60, we get 1.6 kernels per 1 minute. That's not the same as what I have here in purple. Then we can move on and do 182. So we're looking at choice B. 182, so that's this number right here, divided by this number. And we don't get 2.4. See, we're looking for 2.4. We have 2.275 or 2 and 275 thousandths. That's not going to be equal. So that's your other method, is just take the numerator divided by the denominator. Take the numerator divided by the denominator. And whichever one gives you that 2.4, the 2 and 4 tenths kernels per 1 minute, that's going to be the one you want to pick.